A major disaster has hit Taiwan. For 7 days, very heavy rain fell across the island. The country is now facing a serious crisis. This is a very sad time for the nation. The storms have caused a lot of damage. 4 people have died and 3 more are missing. The floods are very dangerous, so more than 5,900 people had to leave their homes. They went to safer places to wait for the water to go down. The southern part of Taiwan is the area with the most problems. This region has many farms that grow food for the country. Now these farms are underwater. In the cities, the streets look like rivers. Cars and some houses are covered in water. The heavy rain has turned this important part of the country into a disaster area. It is the worst rain event Taiwan has seen in more than 20 years. In just 1 week, some places got more rain than they normally get in a full year. The constant rain has also caused landslides in the mountains, making many roads unsafe to use. This is a very difficult time for the people of Taiwan as they face the damage from this powerful storm. 2. The big rain. The rain was not normal. It began at the end of July and quickly became a serious problem. A special weather system stayed over the south of Taiwan. This system brought a huge amount of water from the sea. For 7 days, the rain was constant and very heavy. People had not seen rain like this since the year 1998. It was a truly historic weather event for the country. The numbers were difficult to believe. In the mountains, the total rain was more than 2.6 meters. This is a very large amount of water. To picture it, imagine water that is taller than a door. In one area, a forest trail in the mountains of Kaohsiung, the rain measured almost 2.9 meters. This amount of rain in only 1 week broke old records. The government's weather experts have a special name for this kind of weather: extremely heavy rain. This means that the rain is very fast and strong. For example, more than 200 millimeters of rain falls in a single 24-hour period. For a full week, a long list of towns and cities saw this much rain day after day. It was the first time in over 20 years that so many places had so much rain for so long. The best way to understand the big rain is to compare it to a full year. In just 1 week, some places in the south got more rain than they usually get in 12 months. The average rainfall for all of Taiwan in a normal year is about 2.1 meters. The storm brought more than that amount to some mountain areas in just a few days. It was an incredible and frightening amount of water coming from the sky. Meteorologists said the rain came in 2 different waves. The first wave was from July 28th to July 31. Then the second wave started on August 1. This second part was stronger and covered more of central and southern Taiwan. It was like a long train of storm clouds passing over the same places again and again, dropping more and more water. It felt like the rain would never end. 3. People in danger. The heavy rain was very dangerous for many people in Taiwan. Sadly, 4 people died because of accidents in the bad weather. Rescue workers are still looking for 3 other people who are missing. Many more people were hurt. The Central Emergency Operations Center said that 77 people were injured during the disaster. The city of Kaohsiung had the most injured people, with more than 20 residents needing help. There were very sad stories about the people who died. One accident happened in Nantao County. A 57-year-old man was riding his motorcycle. He drove into a street that was full of deep water. The police had closed the road to keep people safe. But the man went into the dangerous area. 20 minutes later, people found him under 2 meters of water. He did not survive. Another terrible accident happened to a family in Kaohsiung. 5 family members were driving in their car. Because of the heavy rain, their car fell off the road and into a deep ravine. 2 people from the family died. The other 3 family members are still missing. It is very hard for rescue teams to search in the bad weather. Because of the floods and landslides, many people were not safe in their houses. The government had to move more than 5,900 people away from the danger. This is called an evacuation. Over 2,000 people still cannot go back home. The government opened 36 special emergency shelters. These are safe places for people to sleep and eat. Right now, 588 people are living in these shelters. The shelters have enough food and water for 10 days. This is important because many roads are closed and it is difficult to bring new supplies. 4. A country underwater. The heavy rain was a disaster for Taiwan, but the southern part of the country was hit the hardest. Several cities and counties in the south experienced extreme flooding. These areas looked like they were completely underwater. Officials said 17 different towns and cities had extremely torrential rain, which is the most dangerous level of rainfall. Kaohsiung, a very large and important city, faced the biggest problems. It is Taiwan's second largest city and an industrial center. The rain was incredibly strong there. One area in the mountains of Kaohsiung got over 2,200 millimeters of rain. This is a huge amount for just 1 week. Because of the danger, the city had to evacuate many people. The mayor said it was the largest evacuation in more than 10 years. Thousands of residents had to leave their homes and go to safer places. Tainan, another famous city, also had terrible floods. Tainan is an old historic city and a center for farming. During the disaster, its streets filled with deep water. They looked like fast-moving rivers. It was impossible for cars and motorcycles to drive safely. People could not get to work or school. Because of the floods, schools and businesses across the city had to close. Daily life completely stopped for many people. Pingtung County was another place with serious rain, getting over 2,000 millimeters in some parts. The mountain areas across the south were in great danger. The heavy rain on the hills caused many landslides. A landslide is when a lot of mud and rocks slide down a mountain. These landslides covered roads and blocked them completely. This meant that small villages in the mountains were cut off from the outside world. People could not get in or out. Major roads, like Provincial Highway number 20, were closed to keep everyone safe. Only rescue workers could use them. The south of Taiwan was truly a region underwater. 5. Farms and food. The disaster was not just in cities and towns. It also hit the countryside very hard. The southern part of Taiwan is very special. It is the country's agricultural heartland. This means it is the most important area for farming. A large amount of the food for the entire island grows here. People depend on these farms for their daily meals. The heavy rain turned these green farms into big brown lakes. Fields that were full of plants were suddenly under deep water. The water did not go away quickly. It stayed for many days. This was very bad for the crops. Plants cannot live underwater for so long. They drowned and rotted in the flooded fields. Farmers lost many different kinds of food. Important crops like rice and many types of vegetables were destroyed. Tropical fruits, which grow well in the south, were also ruined. The timing of the flood was terrible. It happened during a critical growing season. This is the time when plants need the right amount of sun and water to grow strong. Instead, they got too much water, and everything was lost. For the farmers who live and work here, the damage is devastating. They have worked hard all year, but now their crops are gone. This means they will not have anything to sell. They have lost a lot of money. This creates a big economic problem for farming communities. Many farmers are already finding it hard to make money, and this disaster makes it much worse. They have to think about how they will recover and plant again. The problem of lost crops affects everyone in Taiwan. It creates a risk for the nation's food security. When a large part of the food supply is destroyed, it can lead to shortages. There may be less fresh food in the markets. The prices for vegetables and fruits could also go up. This disaster is a serious warning. It shows how extreme weather can threaten the food that people need every day. Protecting these important farms is vital for the country's future. 6. The government helps. When the disaster happened, the government of Taiwan acted very fast. They had a plan and started to work immediately. This quick response was very important because thousands of people were in danger. The government showed it had learned important lessons from floods and typhoons in the past. They wanted to make sure help reached people as soon as possible. The country's leader, Premier Chow Jung-tai, traveled to the south. He personally visited Tainan, one of the cities with bad flooding. He walked through the wet streets to see the damage for himself. He listened to the stories of residents who lost their homes. He also talked with local officials to understand what they needed. His visit was a message to the nation that the government was there to help and support them during this difficult time. A special office called the Central Emergency Operations Center worked without stopping. It was open 24 hours a day. This center was the brain of the rescue work. It connected the main government in the capital with the leaders in the flooded cities and counties. Mayors from Kaohsiung, Tainan, and other areas had regular video meetings with the premier. They shared updates and asked for the help they needed. This good communication made the rescue efforts much better and more organized. People and towns needed money to recover from the flood. The premier announced that the government was preparing a special budget. This was new money just for the disaster. The funds would help pay for food, shelters, and repairing homes. It would also help to fix broken roads, bridges, and other important infrastructure. The government worked to make this money available very quickly. The government also controlled the roads to keep people safe. They closed parts of major highways like Provincial Highway number 20 and number 29. This was a very important decision. It stopped ordinary cars from entering dangerous areas. It also made the roads clear for emergency vehicles. This meant that rescue teams, ambulances, and trucks with supplies could get to isolated villages much faster. Every part of the government worked together to manage the crisis. 7. A sign of the future. This terrible rain was not just bad luck. It is a sign of a bigger problem for the world. Many scientists believe the Earth's weather is changing because of climate change. As the planet gets warmer, the air can hold more water. This means that when it rains, the rain can be much heavier and more extreme. Scientists predict that events like this big flood will happen more often in the future. This is a serious problem for Taiwan. The government knows this and understands that it must make new plans for a future with more difficult weather conditions. This is not the first time Taiwan has faced a major disaster. Many people still remember Typhoon Morakot from 2009. That was a terrible storm that killed more than 600 people and caused a lot of damage. The rain in this recent disaster was almost as strong as the rain from Morakot. It was also the worst full week of rain that the country has seen since 1998. This shows that these very strong weather events are a serious and repeating danger for the island. The lessons from past storms are important, but the new storms are a difficult test. This flood is a clear warning for Taiwan. It is like looking through a window into the future. The country's tall mountains also make the rain worse. When the wet air from the sea hits the mountains, the air is pushed up. It gets colder and the water falls as very heavy rain. This is why the mountain areas received so much water. Leaders in the government know they must prepare for more events like this one. They have to work hard to protect people and cities from future floods. This is now a very important job. This problem is not only for Taiwan. The heavy rain is a message for everyone around the world. It shows that we must pay attention to our changing climate. These disasters are not just single unlucky events. They are part of a larger pattern that is affecting the whole planet. The future will bring more challenges like this one, and every country must be ready to face them. What happened in Taiwan is a sign of what is to come for many other places. 8. The way forward. The rain has finally stopped, but the hard work is just beginning for the people of Taiwan. Now everyone must focus on recovery. The country needs to clean up the flooded towns and cities. People need to repair their damaged homes and businesses. This terrible event was a difficult but important lesson. It showed everyone that the country must become much stronger to face future disasters. The goal is not just to rebuild what was lost, but to build back better and more prepared than before. To build a stronger Taiwan, the government must improve the country's infrastructure. Many roads and bridges were washed away or destroyed by the powerful water. New roads must be designed and built to be stronger so they can survive the next big storm. Cities also need much better drainage systems. The old systems were not big enough and could not handle so much rain. New pipes and channels are needed to move water away from streets and buildings very quickly. This is a very important step to prevent serious floods in the future. Better infrastructure will protect people and their homes. Good planning is also essential for the future. The government and local leaders need to create better and clearer disaster plans. These plans must include faster and more effective warnings so people know exactly when danger is coming. They also need to make sure there are enough safe shelters with food and water for everyone who has to leave their home. The plans should help rescue teams work more safely and effectively. Learning from this flood will help make the plans for the next emergency much better. Every community needs a simple plan that everyone understands. The most powerful lesson from this disaster was the amazing importance of community. During the worst days, when things were very difficult, people helped each other. Neighbors shared their food and clean water. Volunteers from all over the country came to help clean up the thick mud and damage. This community spirit showed the true strength of Taiwan. It is a strength that is more important than any building or road. When people work together with kindness, they can overcome any problem. The world's weather is changing, and extreme events like this big rain may happen more often. Taiwan cannot stop the storms, but it can be prepared for them. By learning these important lessons, improving the cities and towns, and keeping the community spirit strong, Taiwan can adapt to this new reality. The people can work together to build a safer and more hopeful future for their families and their children. How can communities in your area better prepare for extreme weather events like this one?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.